Hi, good morning. How are you today? Today we're going to continue with our Infinite Lifetime Sutra. Today we're still at the title, right? Because the title is kind of long. 佛说大乘无量寿庄严清净平等觉境. So during the past few episodes, we have spoken about the 佛说大乘无量寿. That means the Buddha says the Mahayana infinite lifespan. Okay, so for today, we're going to talk about the other parts of the title, 庄严清净平等觉. So this means 庄严 is splendid, 清净 is peaceful, 平等 is equality, 觉 is enlightenment. Okay, so the four things that are being, the four words that are used here describes the condition, okay, how the entire Pure Land Buddhism is, okay, the Amitabha's Pure Land world, how it looks like. It is splendid, it is peaceful, it is Zhuang Yanping is equal, and it is enlightenment. It is a place where the moment you get there, all your 24 hours or whatever hours, there is no distinction between night and day. Okay, it is just bright all the time, and there is no distinction between how you look and how I look. There is all the equality there that you can think of. Okay, for example, the moment when you are reborn, or I will say it as a migration. Okay, migration from your this life with this body, migrate to that world over there. The Amitabha Buddha is the one to take you there. Okay, what he does is he will approach you, okay, either at the end of your current lifespan, okay, or at the end of a promised, I will say, how to say that, a negotiated time, okay, for him to bring you in your lotus seat. Okay, the lotus seat is it started when you start to chant Amitabha. Okay, because you believe in it, you plant your lotus seed, seed, and then the seed will grow. Okay, it will bloom, and then when it is time for you, when it is ripe, okay, when your karma is ripe, everything is ripe, the conditioning is ripe, you have already achieved that one pointedness of mind. When your lotus flower blooms, you come out from there, and that is also when Amitabha Buddha takes you over to his Pure Land world. Okay, so this is actually a migration. It is not death. To us, okay, if you have to excuse me for a moment there. Okay, to us, right, for those of us who are more accustomed to how things work in this world, what we think about is the person dies, okay, and then there is the change between a physical matter, okay, into a non-physical matter. Okay, the non-physical matter, sometimes when we watch movies, they will say things like you become a ghost and things like that. Okay, becoming a ghost is also a form of migration. Okay, but it is due to the death that you are reborn as a ghost. You are reborn as a spirit that is without a physical form. Okay, without a solid physical form. You still have a physical form, but it's not a solid physical form. Or some will be a reincarnation into the animal realm. It means your soul is brought over into the womb of an animal, and then the womb of the animal is the formation is at the exact time when a female ovum is being fertilized by a male sperm. Okay, the egg is fertilized by the male sperm. So it is not like how doctors say that, oh, there is no life yet, 3 months into the pregnancy. Okay, it's not like that. It is formed the moment the egg is fertilized. Okay, so which is why in Buddhism, um, we don't really, I will say we don't encourage abortion. Okay, and we also don't encourage um, IVF. Okay, it's in the sense of tap tube babies. Okay, we don't encourage that because what there are a few factors. The first one is that you are going against your karma that you have brought on since the past. Okay, like you are past life, you did not plan that karma to have a child, or your surroundings. Okay, the debtor or the creditor that has association with you and your partner has not have the right opportunity yet to become your child. Okay, because remember, all the four factors of relationship. A relationship is formed either as a creditor you've come to, or a debtor. Okay, either you have come to pay back a debt, or you are here to collect the debt, or you want to pay back a gratitude, or you're here to collect a gratitude. Okay, so there are always either one of these four as the factors for relationships. So when you are not, the circumstances are not there yet, hence there is, you don't owe anybody and nobody owes you in the past life. So it is one of the reasons that you don't have a child now. But a lot of people, because of the conditioning of the society now, okay, if you don't have a child and then you are seen as somebody who is, there is this strange slogan, or I would say propaganda, about being feeling like a real woman only after you give child, if you have a childbirth. Okay, so I don't think there is any reason to think that just because you don't have a child, you're a lesser woman than any other. Okay, because male and female is actually just a conditioning by the body to determine whether you're a male species or a female species. Okay, I'm not going into that right now because a lot of people, they'll be thinking that all the LGBT and all the DEI thing that's going on around here. I don't want to delve into that, but karmically, when we talk about the karmic side of it, um, when you're talking about the extraction of the ovums, okay, the eggs of the female, you extract the eggs of the female and then you bring it to fertilization, okay, in vitro fertilization. You make it possible for the sperms to penetrate the egg through artificial insemination. The moment that this egg is fertilized, it means that there is already a being ready to be born. But what you do is that you freeze this being from its birth. Okay, you know how they freeze the fertilized eggs. Okay, so you're freezing the opportunity of this being from um, going through a natural cycle of birth. And then at the same time, there are some who will just destroy the fertilized eggs after they have decided that, oh, I already have had 3 children, so that is enough. I want to destroy the rest of the eggs. Okay, so that will constitute of another form of a killing of the being. Okay, instead of, because this being, if let's say this being is within the egg that is fertilized, that means this being has the opportunity to become your child. There is either a debt or a gratitude that you need to either pay or to collect from this person. Okay, in the form of him or her being your child. But instead of giving that opportunity, you are actually again murdering this um, fertilized child, okay, by destroying the eggs, the fertilized eggs, and so depleted the opportunity of, first, of repaying or collecting your debt, or repaying or collecting the gratitude. Second, depriving the child of an opportunity to life. Okay, so um, as a Buddhist, we don't like to, we don't want to encourage that. Okay, it is up to you. If let's say you would like to, just craving for the child, and then you want to have it, and then you don't think that it is so, it's also up to you if you would like to do that. But as a Buddhist who understands the karmic relationship of everything, we don't do that. Okay, so that one is side of it. So back to our topic about the migration. Okay, so what we understood is that the moment that a person dies, that is when, that moment that the soul leaves the body. And what do we mean by the soul that leaves the body? The soul that leaves the body is actually the energy source. Okay, before the birth, before our first birth by parents, we are just an energy source. Okay, and this energy source is what we, in Chinese, it is called the Chang Ji Guang. Okay, when we're talking about the Chang Ji Guang, Chang means long, Ji is ultimate, Guang is light. When this long ultimate light, okay, if you put the words together, this long ultimate light has always been there. Okay, there is no contrast of the light and day. Night and day, there is no contrast of the bright and the dark. So this energy source is always there. Okay, this long ultimate light is always there. So this long ultimate light, because of the first ignorance, there is suddenly one ignorance created the appearance of everything else, including our world as we know of today. All right, so with this creation itself, what happens is that it, because there is a creation, there is also an end. So there, when there's a birth, there's supposed to be a death. So what we understand is that when there's a birth, then there's a death, and then from the death, there's some people may think that there is nothing beyond, but there are some people who thinks that there's nothing beyond, but there is still a heaven and a hell, and a hell beyond. Okay, so that is another form of belief. And because of this, the birth and the death, and there is the reincarnation. Okay, but when we talk about reincarnation, it is subjected by the realms of existence. Okay, the 10 realms of existence. Yet when we talk about, what if there is something that is neither birth nor death? Okay, so it's migration from, let's say for example, in the situation where my conditions have been met. Okay, either because my body is already unable to support my energy source, so people call it as death, or it is because of a precondition that I have had an agreement with Amitabha Buddha, who came to visit me, and then we made an agreement that on which day, which date, what time he will come and bring me. Okay, it's like a final flight to a final destination. So he comes to collect me, all right, in the lotus seed that he will carry in his hand. And this lotus seed is exactly the lotus flower that I have planted while I chant Amitabha. Okay, when I chant Amitabha, it is not by the collection, the number of uh, chants that I make. I can be chanting 10,000 chants of Amitabha per day, but my lotus seed may not grow. Okay, but I may chant 10 times and my seed has already grown. Why is that so? It is, the chanting is dependent on the clarity of my mind. Okay, how pure is it? My mind, how focused is my mind? A focused mind is pure. Okay, the focused mind, when you chant Amitofo, 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 it is totally focused on the chanting. Okay, there's nothing else in mind. There is no arising thoughts. There is no thoughts like, oh, I didn't do my report yet. Oh, I have a meeting next Monday. Oh, I have this, I have that. Oh, I have to go and buy some things for my family. No, there is uh No such thing. Okay, it is just solely focused on one Amitabha chanting. So when the Amitabha chanting is done, and then how pure is that chanting, unadulterated by any other thoughts? Okay, that is the building of the faith. Okay, the clearer your mind is, the calmer your heart is, the more your faith will be. Okay, the stronger your faith will be, because you will come to certain realizations. Okay, even the chanting of Amitabha is similar to the exercise that you do for meditation. Okay, in meditation, like for example in the Vipassana meditation, okay, Vipassana meditation, you concentrate on the diaphragm. Okay, the rise and fall of the diaphragm with every inhale and exhale that you take. So during the chanting of the Amitabha Buddha, it is also the same. You just concentrate on the chant of the Amitabha Buddha, and when you do the chanting, your concentration becomes stronger and there are realizations. Okay, the you have to remember one thing. It is one route to be worldly and another route to be delivered from the world. Okay, and this in our world itself. Okay, what we are doing, what we are experiencing now is that it has to be a continuous motion of activities. Right, you have your to-do list, you have your goals to meet, you have every single waking moment where you have to get something done. Okay, to learn something, and then to be able to reach something. But on the other hand, when you go into the practice of being enlightened, okay, if you want to elevate yourself spiritually, what you do is you discard one layer at a time. Okay, I remember using the analogy of the onion peel. Okay, you start peeling all those education that you have learned layer after layer. You just take up one layer after another layer, and then right till the end, it is just what's just left is the bulb, in which inside the bulb there is one tiny seed. Okay, that is the growth of that onion. So what we want is to find that single seed. Okay, inside the bulb itself, that single seed. So we peel off one after another. The knowledge, first we peel off the knowledge about the material world. Um, a lot of people now, they pay a lot of attention to money, which is why when I give this Dharma talks, I always relate it back to something that is relatable to everyone. Okay, it's about talking about the money. Okay, you're talking about the affordability, you're talking about money, you're seeing people that will go around manifesting, say that I will become a millionaire, I'll become a billionaire, I'll become this and become that. To become, then it is actually to add on to the layers of your onion. Okay, to be enlightened is to take off the layers of your onion, to be unbecoming. Okay, to be unbecoming means I go back to the very pure thing that I was. You remember when you look at babies when they are first born, right? They are very natural. Okay, their skin is perfect, their everything is just perfect. Okay, some people, despite they're born with the imperfections, but still, they are perfect. They hungry, they just eat. Okay, they feel uncomfortable, they just cry. Get your attention. Okay, they feel cold, they feel cold. They feel hot, they feel hot. They feel hungry, they will feel hungry. They feel anything, they will just feel anything. And then they allow people to hug them. Okay, those that are smaller, they allow people to carry them, they allow people to hug them. But when you look at certain individuals, right? When you bring any baby to them, any baby at all, the moment you bring a baby to them, it is as if the baby just looks at them and the baby will just giggle and then start to embrace them like a friend, right? You will know that this person has a very pure heart. And the opposite is true. If let's say you see a child, the moment you send a baby to this person, and then almost like all babies just feel uncomfortable with this person, that means this person has something in them that is impure, that babies just don't like. But because of society, okay, after a while, the babies, when they start to grow, Baby start to learn. The parents start to tell them, no, baby, don't do that. That one is daddy's friend. That one is mommy's friend. Now be nice. Call uncle. And then even though the baby just the toddler, maybe by now, okay, the toddler just doesn't like this person. And then say, no, baby, just be nice. Say hello to uncle. Come give uncle a hug. Give uncle a kiss, or give auntie a kiss, or give. Even though this person doesn't like it, this baby doesn't like it. Okay, but still, because of the conditioning, the mom or the dad says so, he obeys, she obeys. Okay, so there was the hug and the kiss, and then despite feeling uncomfortable, it was being told to do that. So you are adding that layer onto this child. Okay, and then when you start putting on more layers, okay, the social norms, when you get something from somebody, and now that, of course, it is the courtesy, the good values, okay, those the thank you and the please and everything else, okay, that is actually a form of educating them, okay. But if you were to teach them good things, okay, like moral things, like helping each other, be nice with each other, and then to be able to have respect for each other, that one is actually going to build them in accordance to what is still pure inside them. But when you start teaching them about competition, okay, about enemies, about making uh, everything a race, right? Instead of telling them that the only competition that they have is only with themselves, you start to make them feel that they are against other people, and that is against the nature within the child itself. Okay, so this child may grow up with the wrong conditioning, and they will feel that there is so many things that he or she will need to deal with, all the coping with the stress and everything, and not look like all the other exams that they have now. Instead of competing with themselves, they are also competing with their peers. Okay, you look at how the teachers put the scoreboards, right? Oh, um first place in the class because this child scored 100% for the subject. Okay, first place, second place, third place, and then people just scroll down and say, "Oh, this one is the last in the class." That kind of competition there is, and then it is when the child starts to feel that, oh, why is everything a competition? And he has been conditioned with additional layers of his onion. Okay, so it is against human nature. It is against who we are. It is adding on to cover the seed that is within us. Remember the onion and the seed inside the bulb. So instead of finding the seed, people start to think that there can be anything external, okay, that they can add on to find out what is the truth, add on to find out what is that real thing within them, instead of discarding layers by layers, you know. So what happens? There comes the mathematics, there comes the physics. Okay, sure. It puts a meaning to those who are more inclined to the mathematical stuff of it. It puts um, perspective into things, and to put boundaries, and to put restrictions, to put limits. Okay, so it is against the human nature. Okay, if you are a child of the universe, you will know, right? All these numbers and everything, including time and space itself, are just concepts that are unreal. Okay, so when you peel off the layers, then you will realize that time and space itself is already unreal. Your body is unreal. So why do you still hold on to it? That kind of thing. And so when you are okay, back to that part about the lotus seed that we have planted. Okay, the more clear our mind is, the more layers that we peel off, the bigger your lotus will bloom. Okay, so you will inside the sutra itself, later when we go into the depth of the sutra, you will see that there are multicolors of lotus. There are those blue ones, there are red ones, right? The green ones, the white ones, the yellow ones. So many colors, so beautiful. And the size is actually corresponding with how clear your heart is, how many layers of your onions that you have peeled off. Okay, and then when it opens, the moment it opens, the splendid of it is that you go into pure land world there where you are born from a lotus. You are not born from the womb, so there is no beginning. It was just boop, you are there, right? So there is no beginning. So if there is no beginning, that means there's also no end. And then since there's no beginning and there's no end, this is a perfection. Okay, and this perfection is such that you will look exactly like Amitabha Buddha. Okay, how the Buddha looks like, that is how you will look like. Okay, so there is the equality. Okay, so the entire place is peaceful and calm, right? It is made of, the ground is made of gold, the trees are of emerald, of um, amethyst, um, ruby, whatever gemstones that you can think of, whatever crystals that you can name. You know, it is all that is so splendid, right? And then because of that, okay, so everyone, the moment that you and I look at each other and we're like a mirror image to each other, it sets a tone of peace. There is no competition. If you were to look at yourself in the mirror, there is no competition because you are you and you are also you, right? So since there is no competition, each one is the same. There is no distinction. There is no discrimination between how you look like or how I look like. What is there to compete about? So it is all about equality. Okay, you don't distinguish between, now in this world we don't have the equality because there are distinction between the different colors, the different culture, the different um, background, the different social status. Okay, like for example, there is somebody I've spoken with in a high-ranking social status. He was saying that he can't reveal our friendship because all his friends are supposed to be somebody in the society. Well, he may be somebody in his circle of society, but I am my somebody in my circle of society, just that not in his circle. So, in the different Buddha worlds, okay, if let's say you have different worlds, you don't have to go into the different worlds, okay? You just have to look at, if you're a pet lover, okay, if you have dogs or you have cats, sometimes you will see this particular dog that is known by all dogs, and then this dog will be like the alpha, the one who rules other dogs. Okay, the moment this dog says something or whatever he says, the entire pack will listen to him. Okay, look at the wolves, you look at the horses, you look at everything, actually everything. Or maybe you look at the, if those that do not have pets at home, or maybe you just have a tortoise without any other things, you know. You can just look at what you learn in science, the queen bee, okay, the bees and the queen bees and the male bees and everything. Okay, so there is always one leader. So uh, there is always this distinction, okay, between the hierarchy, what is top and what is bottom when you're talking about the mortal worlds. Okay, but if you're in an immortal world, the world that has no beginning and no end, and everything is like, it is so equal. Okay, what can be more equal than you looking exactly the same as each other? Okay, and including looking exactly the same like Amitabha Buddha himself. Okay, how equal do you still want it to be? And in fact, all the um, superpowers, I would say, in mortal terms, we call it the superpowers. But when you are in the immortal world, the pure land world of Amitabha Buddha, it is your natural abilities. What are your natural abilities? Your all seeing eye, all hearing ears, your um, telepathy, your ability to read other people's mind, your ability to travel. Okay, all those are equal. All of you are equal. The moment that we enter the pure land, okay, we are not restricted by the physical body. So we are also not restricted by the time and the space. Like this, if I were to go to Pure Land, Amitabha's Pure Land, I can just, you know, split as many images of myself as I like. Okay, I'll just, with all the splitting, I can go to any Buddha world at any time zone, okay, at any space at all, and be listening to the Buddha telling the sutras, giving his Dhamma talks. In fact, when I become a Buddha, okay, when I enter Amitabha's Pure Land, I can go back to this one time that Amitabha, our Lord Gautama Buddha, was talking about this infinite lifetime sutra, okay, which was supposed to be at least like 2,500 years ago when when Gautama Buddha was there. Okay, I can go back to that time, okay, that one time, and be at the presence among those that he mentioned in the sutra, to be listening to his sermon. Okay, because if you to look at the sutra later, we're going to look at it like it thus at one time, the Buddha was at this place, and then what he done, and it is surrounded by don't know how many people from the sangha, how many were bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, and then how many um, countless bodhisattvas, and things like that. The countless bodhisattvas are among those are actually those beings that have already gone over to the Pure Land Buddhism, okay, that are already in Amitabha's Pure Land in that world, and they split themselves and going into that one time to listen to Amitabha. I can go there as well after I have entered Pure Land. Okay, so this is how we really are. Okay, this is our natural. It is not a supernatural. If supernatural, that means you have to gain, right? But this is by removing all those layers in our onion, right? And we reveal that seed that has immense power, okay, that is invincible, okay, that particular seed that is of all possibilities, okay, it can transcend, because there is no end, there is no beginning. It can transcend all without distinction of a beginning, without distinction of an end. In fact, if you are in the Buddhist society, okay, among the Buddhist society, sometimes you will hear about bodhisattvas manifesting as humans, okay, during the time when there is no identity card or anything, just somebody just appear seemingly out of nowhere. Nobody knows where he came from or whatever. All right, and then suddenly they just live the ascetic life as a monk, okay, or maybe as two monks. There were instances, recorded instances, where two bodhisattvas had come down and then to help the people around. Sometimes the helping is just as simple as to lead the life and showing an example of how to lead the life. Okay, and then if you were to look at some cases where those people who have already um, have the opportunity to meet with Amitabha Buddha in their dreams or during their meditation, during the chanting, they may have met Amitabha Buddha, and then the Buddha and then they may have asked the Buddha, "Can you take me to Pure Land now?" And then the Buddha may, Amitabha Buddha may say that, "No, you should stay here to set an example, okay? Or you should stay here to tie up some loose ends first. Um, then only you can go. Then I will collect you, at this certain time, this certain date." Okay, one such example was a monk. I don't know if I have his picture around here. Mm, I will look for it. Okay, I will look for it. Is it Huina? No, it's not Huina. Okay, I will look for that. I will look for that example, that book. Um, or it was also a video. Somebody made a video because the elderly gentleman, he was still within our era. Okay, it's not like some ancient time. At that time, he was already, there were already uh, videos. Okay, it was not too long ago. It was like 60 years ago, 50 years ago. Okay, so how he lived was, he was ordained. He was a monk, and then he lived a ripe old age alone without the need of anybody to be his attendant, nobody to assist him. And he set an example. Okay, every day he just eats that little bit of food, and yet he works in the farm, um, tending to fruits, climbing up trees, and then doing all kinds of things. And it was until when he was very old, you know, and then only somebody said that no, let us get somebody to help you, to tend to you. That he said, oh, okay. But right up to the very last day before his migration, okay, his migration was a premonition where the Amitabha Buddha was saying that I won't collect you until this particular book appears in your life. Okay, so when after he has led his life so many years in all the simplicity, and he was healthy, right? He lived to like over 100 years old, if I'm not mistaken, right? So healthy. And then one day, one of the disciples coming to visit him, brought that book. And he was so happy seeing that book because he knows that upon seeing that book, he will be, Amitabha Buddha will come to collect him over to Pure Land. Then he does not need to be burdened by this physical appearance anymore. That he wore his robe, and then he made people take a photo of him with his robe. Okay, so with the book itself. And then after that, he was so happy. He was saying, I'm going to visit this friend. I'm going to visit this friend. And after that, off he goes. And then one day, suddenly, he was just gone. Okay, he just happily, he left. He said goodbye. In fact, he didn't really say goodbye. They were asking him, oh, it is already so late that day. It was already so late. Do come in and rest. And then he says that no, it's okay. I will tend to this farm. There was a kind of a farm. There are lots of fruit trees. I'll just tend to this farm for a last time. Then I will go rest. Okay, those were approximately what his last words were. Nobody could understand. They think that, oh, he just have something about this tree that he has to finish, then he will go rest. But his rest was actually him leaving this physical body and then to go off to Pure Land with Amitabha Buddha. Okay, so uh, that's how it is. Okay, our unlimited powers, once we unleash it, it is not by adding on any layers, but it's actually by discarding all the layers in our onions to reveal that seed. Okay, so you have to excuse me, the weather is a bit crazy, so I have these allergies going on as well. Okay, so the size of the flower will depend on how clear, how peaceful, how clean your heart is. Okay, so it is splendid. There is no night, there is no day. The people that don't need to sleep, and everything was just perfect. It was so beautiful. There is no discrimination, as in no high and no low. In our world, we have the humans, we have animal kingdom, we have ghost realm, we have hell realm, we have asuras, we have heavenly worlds. There are so many layers, but over there you don't even see a hill. Okay, and every single being that gets reborn over there, they are just exactly the same as Amitabha Buddha. And you don't see any that is lesser or any that is higher. Okay, no higher, no lesser. Everything is just equal. Even if you were to see, there are some animals, okay, some birds, splendid birds, and they are not because of womb born or because of egg born or anything that is due to the karma, but they are they are manifested. Okay, they are not born, they are manifested by the karmic energy. It is the energy itself, and it is not because of the four relationship, the four depths that we're talking about, the depth and the collection of depths, or the gratitude and the collection of gratitude. Is nothing like this. It's just a manifestation of the powerful karma, the energy itself, that it blooms into the bird, or the any sort of animals that are over there. Looks like animals to us, but they are actually in the karmic energy, and they are also the same. They are splendid. They are without a start. They are without an end. They are just there. Okay, so this is the kind of equality that is enjoyed over there. There will be more. Okay, as we go into the sutra itself, there will be more examples that we can share. And yeah, so it is the best place for enlightenment, because the birds, the environment, even the tree that is there, the dharma water, the lake, the flowers, every single thing, the melody that you hear, okay, everything is actually telling you a dharma. It is a continuous 24 hours non-stop. You don't even have 24 hours over there, because it is a continuous. Okay, there is always this just one time, transcending all time, transcending all space. It is just a continuous preaching of the dharma without anyone preaching. Right, so it is that splendid. Okay, it is that wonderful. It is that perfection. Okay, so this is the title of the sutra. Okay, so yeah, so we have gone through the Buddha says, the Mahayana, infinite lifetime, splendid, peaceful, equal, enlightenment sutra. Okay, this is just the title of it. And in our next episode, we are going into the content of the sutra. Okay, so yeah, 4 episodes, and we are only explaining the title. I can go longer than that actually, but no, I'm not gonna burden you guys with it. Okay, so we will end today's episode over here. So I hope that you will continue watching and continue learning. I'm also continue learning. In fact, when I'm doing this Dhamma talk, right, on the sutra, I'm also learning the sutra at the same time. Okay, so till we meet again, so be good now. Bye bye. See you in the next episode. Amitabha.